Yeah, so just welcome everyone. Let's just see, come on, there we go. Welcome everyone. Thanks for joining the second session for the October Town Hall. We had a really nice session as well this morning with everyone. So what we usually do is we always recommend to maybe watch the first session as well. It's always nice just to see what the other agencies and clients are, sort of questions they're asking. But yeah, thanks for joining today. We've got quite a nice little agenda to go through, just going through some of the features we released. So we're just going to be going through things like, we're going to take you quickly through is just the user roles. So that's the new release where you can manage all your different user roles. So we'll just take you through that really quickly. Also, what we've released as well is the new way to alter and manage and delete users. So this has been a really big request. Previously, we had to manage that for you. So we'll also show you where you can do that from within the portal. We'll also just briefly discuss what are our next focuses on the roadmap. So the next kind of key focuses that we're going to be working on. Luke's also going to take you through some nice developments that we kind of, looking just on the kind of marketplace and just some partnership side. So that's the Bootstrap SoftUI theme, and he's going to take you through that. Just to have a look at it and kind of what's coming up with the different like modules and sections and everything. He's also going to briefly talk about Loopple. So they kind of tie hand in hand, just as a partnership, just to also work kind of, to expand Bootstrap 5, with different templates. And we'll also talk about the builders they've got there as well. And then as normal, we'll just share the open floor where you can share any questions or struggles you're having, and just open up to see what other agencies are doing, if there's any feedback that could be helpful. Okay, perfect. So I'm just going to quickly get out of this. We're going to jump into the portal. So as we mentioned, a really nice big feature release that Matt Walter was focusing on has been user roles. So this is it's really quite a really powerful feature. Not only is it going to give you a lot more granular control of providing access for different users, but it can also just open some functionality to maybe how you offer certain landing pages or certain types of projects to clients. Even if it's quite simple, you might just want to offer them something quite easy and just give them access to update certain things. So when you come to user roles, this is where you will see all the existing user roles, and this is where you can go and create your new ones. So you'll see here by default are the historical user roles, so admin, client, and client restricted. But really easy, if you just go into create new, this is where you can build out your additional roles. So it's really quite easy. What we always recommend is you can go and start from an existing role. So perhaps, you wouldn't want to start from maybe, unless you want to give a lot of access, you could start from administrator, but you might want to start from something like client. And once you do that, it'll show you all the different access that is applicable for that user role. After that, you can go and remove certain things. So maybe you don't want any sort of billing, any billing access. You can clear all of that and remove that specific access for a user. So yeah, really, really powerful. The nice thing with the user roles is they can stack on top of each other. So what you can do is you can create certain roles according to certain function, and then you can add those user roles on top of each other to a user. Okay, so let's say we just go and we've done this, and let's say we're just saying it's restricted. Admin, for example. So maybe you want someone that has certain admin in an agency, but then you just want to restrict it. You can do that. Once we save that, so for example, I'll just go and say save. Okay. Once we've created that user role, so you'll see it now show up in the user role page. So you can see that. I didn't add a description, but we always recommend you do that. And now once you come to users, you can go and add specific rights to a user. So if I come here, let's say this is a specific user, they will have the list of roles that are applied to them. So in this case, this user's administrator, but let's say, for example, they were maybe not administrator. You could go and you could add on specific roles. Like I said, they stack on top of each other. You can go and add multiple roles to a specific user. Of course, you won't do it with the general admin because that covers everything, but you would limit it according to the different roles. Okay. So yeah, really, really useful. Really nice just to have that extra kind of control. I'm not sure if any one of you have tested it out or maybe have any feedback on it. Not? No? Perfect. So if you are using it and you have any questions or you notice anything maybe that's you're not sure of, do reach out to us. We can confirm. And then also just a thing to always remember going forward, if you are using roles, is just, if people are having a struggle, either having access or not being able to do something, just ensure that perhaps they haven't been enabled with maybe too restricted of a user role. So always just keep that in mind as well.
One of the questions we had earlier was in the earlier session was whether you could set up a role just for your clients to manage other clients. So a sort of an admin for the client itself. And essentially, because it's all granular, you can do any of that. So you would just create a new role, apply the client invite, site invite rules, as well as anything else they should be able to do, and then just apply that and in conjunction with any other roles as well. So yeah, you can give. Yeah, you can totally choose what kind of access people can have.
Yeah, definitely a nice example there, just being able to, control all the way down to that level, which is really great. Perfect. So yeah, that's just a bit about user roles. Do reach out if you have any questions. The next feature that has just been released really recently, and it's super useful. It is the altering, editing, or deleting of users. So what's really nice about this now, so previously we had to manage that for you. And we understood it was really important to give you that sort of control. Some of the examples that we get from that is really kind of pertains to this is perhaps you've got a client that has a staff member that maybe goes a bit AWOL or something. You can at least go and then restrict that access for a user to a site or any specific reason. So once you come to the user, you'll go to sites. And then under sites, what you'll notice in the difference here is now you can go and you can, so instead of just deleting a user, because remember, if you delete a user, that's across the whole site, across Siteglide, now you can just go and revoke certain access to certain sites. And that just makes it a bit easier if a client reaches out to you at, a certain time or late at night and you need to implement something for them. So yeah, so now it's really helpful. You can do that yourself. You can edit all of those. You can still, obviously, you can, and remove. But yeah, definitely the revoke has been a really useful little part of that feature that just gives you that control. So also really, really quite nice. But yeah, I'm not sure if you have any questions about that, Michael, any questions or anyone else on the call. But if there's anything pertaining to that, do give us a shout and we can always discuss it. Okay, perfect. So yeah, so anything else from your side, Luke, on that?
Not on user roles. I don't think Helen put in the chat that user roles functionality looks really flexible. Yeah, as we've discussed for many months with you guys, we wanted to make it really granular and give you total control. So hopefully it works. But yeah, any feedback, let us know.
Great, perfect. And then let's just go to this. So the next item on the agenda is we just want to talk briefly about roadmap updates. So with us getting through user roles, which was really, really big, obviously, we've also launched now, other than the altering and editing of users, You can also now copy order products in e-commerce, which is a big one as well, just to help you, especially if you're migrating a site or creating, quite similar products. So that's also been released. The next items that we are going to be focusing on is order custom fields. Custom fields in the order, detailed view just gives you kind of more control. You can see different statuses. So that's going to be really nice just to improve, e-commerce for your clients. We're also going to spend a big focus is definitely Studio. It's something we've been wanting to work on for a while, and just to improve the user experience, different, managing this, fixing the way you manage like sections and deleting sections, and also just how to improve the dynamic content, like web apps are handled or presented visually, how that's going to be handled in Studio as well. So that's a nice one on the horizon. I think everyone would be quite excited about that. And then we're also going to spend a bit more time looking into how to improve some of the reseller items. So just better breakdown of charges, access to old invoices, historical data, which was definitely a key thing. Being able to look back and say, these people used this much then versus now, so you can see that historical data as well. But yeah, I don't know, whilst we're on roadmap, are there any certain things from anyone on the call that you want to raise with us regarding roadmap, or maybe items on the roadmap? If you haven't, yeah.
Studio.
Yes.
I like, I'd like to definitely see that, expanded. And it looks like that's what you're planning to do.
Yeah. So that's your, yeah.
Is it going to interface more with Flowbyte, or is it going to do Bootstrap, or am I jumping ahead to your?
That's what I'll jump onto in a minute and give you an update for the Bootstrap side. But it's definitely taking that in mind. So there's some fixes that need doing to Studio anyway. But it will also be trying to make sure that the support for Flowbyte and our new Bootstrap 5 template, which I'll talk about in a minute, work really well. And we're just really trying to make the whole end-to-end experience as slick as possible.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and then if anyone, if you see the recording, or anyone on the call, if there's any other questions about the roadmap, feel free to go through to the roadmap, submit any items that you can't find, or bring it up with us. We can always check that for you. But yeah, do reach out if there's any questions you have regarding certain features that you desperately require. Okay.
Can I just ask it? Well, no, I'm jumping ahead too. I think Luke's gonna explain it. I kind of was under the impression Studio was like maybe in the rear view, but let's let Luke talk.
Sure. Yeah, sure. I'll jump. Yes. So Studio is now just the builder. So just the editing tool, just the UI for that. Obviously, the old library that we had, the design system that we built years ago, we sort of made that legacy deprecated a little while back. It still runs our demo site, which will be replacing soon. But Studio, the name, is just the editing functionality now.
Got it.
If that makes sense.
Like it's like the non-code editing tab.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
But it will allow you to pull in sections from design systems like Flowbyte and the new Bootstrap one that I'm going to show you. So yeah, it links into the design systems. I think just before we jump into that,
I knew we were jumping the gun here.
it's all good. I know we're going to forget it otherwise. So one roadmap update I wanted to mention. I don't think you did, Colin, but I think Matt managed to build it after you wrote this and before the session. So he just released product copy yesterday, I believe. So if anybody's looking to be able to copy e-commerce products, then that's now available. Obviously, user roles was a massive undertaking, really. It was a sort of underpinned everything. So that's taken up quite a bit of time, but now he's free of that. And yeah, we can focus on quite a lot of other things and get through those a bit quicker. So I would say probably now is a good time to ask anything else roadmap related. If you've got anything that's pressing, let us know, and then I'll delve into the templating and marketplace side of things.
I guess I just have a procedural question, which is the best way to interact with the roadmap is still like writing a comment on a thing, right? Like on a I don't even what am I trying to say? On
Like
a feature. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, feature. Yeah. If we have questions about that, a specific feature, we can just comment on there and copy Luke or Matt. This is the best way.
Yeah, yeah, I would say,
go for it.
yeah, so you could definitely, it would always help, I think, just to have, like, I know you've commented on both past things, Devin, and added like a screen recording. So definitely that, but you could also, what we've also created in Discord is like a roadmap channel as well. So if you want to put it into like the roadmap there and see anyone else to discuss, or you could just follow up with us directly. So, I think either of those works best, I would think.
Okay. Yeah, I could highlight it in Discord too, I think. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, definitely make sure that the thing exists in roadmap. So roadmap.siteglide.com, that whole area. Make sure it exists. Vote on it if you see somebody else's, and comment on it as well. But then, yeah, no harm actually having a sort of chat, more of a chat in Discord about it. Can you just quickly go to it, Colin, just to the roadmap homepage?
Yeah.
Or I can, because I can take over if you want.
There we go. I'll stop there.
Sure.
Thanks.
I'll pull my screen up. Can you see the roadmap?
Yeah. It's showing.
Cool. Yeah. So this is obviously that sort of homepage for it. There's nothing in progress because Matt's literally just finished product copy, and he'll be picking. We've got a list of what we're working through and updating that very, very soon. So yeah, I mean, have a sort of search for something here. If there's something you're looking for, try and find it. If you can't find it, then create it and chat about it with us. But this is still the best place, really, because it obviously has the voting, and it'll notify you when something gets done, or if the status changes.
Yeah. I'm like trying to find my little pet project. my pet feature, which is the data source ordering thing.
Yes.
I can't, but I'll look. We don't have to waste anyone's time on that. Yeah, I did find it actually. It's under review. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
One, yeah.
Yeah, I just the most recent comment, I don't think got any response. So I'll highlight it in Discord and see what happens.
Yeah.
Apologies. That's something Colin and I tend to try and stay on top of and discuss with you. So yeah, we'll make a note and we'll come back to it afterwards and chat about it.
Yeah, because it's like the kind of thing where I think if Matt looks at it, he'll at least be able to give you like oh yeah, like that's actually not that hard, or that is really hard. That's kind of the stage it's at, I think.
Yeah, there was one of those this morning, to be honest. I think because probably when you wrote this, he was still deep in the middle of user roles. I think now is actually a really good time to kind of review, like we're discussing all these kind of things with him and working out what would be the sensible solutions.
Yeah, cool.
All
right.
Okay.
I've derailed the conversation.
No, don't worry. Cool. Well, yeah, I'll do an update on the marketplace side of things and Bootstrap. So if I just scroll across to here in the marketplace, we still have categories for different things. We've got a new theme that we've released. So I didn't explain it very well this morning, I don't think, and I'm going to try and do a better job this time, but it's a bit complicated. But we have always had we have this legacy Bootstrap 5 theme, which is the old Studio one that we were just talking about, Devin, that's the confusion with Studio. So that's gone. It's now not called Studio. And we only really have it because of demo site. And we want to replace all of that. It was something we built we don't want to spend time designing and building layouts. It's not our forte. We want to let the experts do that. So this one, you're welcome to use. It's open sourced. Do whatever you want with it, but it's not the future. It's not where we're going. Flowbyte was brought in to work with experts who build awesome layouts and themes and best practice and everything using Tailwind as a framework. But we know that a lot of people wanted the Bootstrap equivalent. And I think, as I'm sure you know, Devon, actually, we've talked about this many times, but the whole sort of theme forest, grab a template for a project, try and piece it together maybe with another one that you like the look of. It's fine. I'm not criticizing it, but it's not what we really wanted to do. We wanted the more Flowbyte route, which is a design system with modular components. You can start in Figma, you can start in code, you can piece it all together and build out hundreds of different combinations. And it was very hard to find anything like that for Bootstrap, but we have, and we managed to build a partnership with them on that. So that is called SoftUI. I think, Devon, you're very familiar probably with either SoftUI or at least Creative Tim. You've worked with them.
I've used this template like 3 times this year. It's great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. So that is, if I just go to, sorry. So that is by a company, if I just switch back to here, called Creative Tim. They have a free version exactly how Flowbyte do, which is just a free basic sort of starting point of a home page, a contact page, and about page, but they have all the components and all the modular atomic level stuff designed in the background. So you can essentially build your own layouts and components off the back of it very easily. But they also have a pro version that you can upgrade to save you time, and you can just buy the various templates even that are built off the top of this design system. Feel free to jump in at any point, Devon, if you want to, in terms of like your experience with it. But have you found it good generally, or?
I found it great as a starting point. The pro version is what we bought because I think it just unlocks more layouts, more just picture like a design kit with, I don't know how many more, maybe like 10 more things in it that you might use. So blocks, like let's say design blocks, right? So the pro has more of those. But yeah, we've used this a bunch and we've modified it to the point where we've got sites running it that don't look anything like this, but it's just a really good starting point, and it's very solid for mobile.
Awesome. So the confusing bit that I'm trying to explain better is I think pretty sure it was one of their staff sort of went off at a little bit of a tangent and created something called Loople. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that, but they've essentially taken the SoftUI theme along with others that they've either built or integrated, and they've got their own builder for like piecing together sites more easily that Creative Tim also used, just to make things even more confusing. But what they also have that we love the look of is they've got like themed templates, so vertical templates that they've put together. They are typically just sort of one-pager themes, but it's quite a nice starting point, and it might help you win a project potentially. If you're trying to win a sort of medical related project, you've got a starting point here. Or if you've got a real estate project, you've got something here. It all runs off the SoftUI design system. So what we can do here is we're building these modular sections and components into the SoftUI theme that's in the back end, installed in the marketplace of Siteglide and Site Builder. And we're also putting together these templates as a starting point. So rather than us trying to do that, which is not our forte, we've got some off-the-shelf things that you can use. Some of it's MIT free to use, and some of it's pro as well. And they've got a pretty, I'd say, very reasonable pricing point of a one-off price if you want to use those. You could also go the Creative Tim SoftUI route and just buy their kit as well. It doesn't really matter. We reckon like we're seeing the benefit of using these kind of templates, but it's totally up to you guys. The point is, in Siteglide, they're both going to be usable and built in. So if I just go to the back end, I've got a SoftUI let me just show you the marketplace side again. So we've got the theme. So as always in Siteglide, you've got the core design system and theme that everything runs off, and you can install that onto a blank site or onto an existing site. And then separately, we have templates. So in Flowbyte, we had the Flowbyte theme, but then we also did a landing page, a marketing site, and a portal site. We can do more with this SoftUI one. We've quickly thrown together, to be honest, a landing page one, and we'll soon do similar versions of that. So if you click on the landing page template, that's where you would do a whole site create. So it will literally build out the site for you based on this this setup, which to be honest, it is just a very basic landing page at this stage. So that's where you could just get a site up and running. And if I come back to one I created previously, I created this morning during the first town hall session. You'd then be able to go into Site Builder as an example and see all the different dynamic layouts we have that are part of the SoftUI theme, menus, and obviously we're adding more and more, but an example of a web app one as well. And then from pages in Studio, this is where, to answer your question from earlier again, Devon, Studio is this tab and the builder. You would be able to work with that that landing page and add in more sections from the library as we build it out. So there's not very much in there at the moment, but if we just put in another feature section as an example, I'll drop that in here and you can edit it. So the team are actually sort of working on more of these layouts right now, and they'll be more available very soon. But what we're trying to give you is a sort of fully integrated design system, template library, everything really that you can expand upon. If you build anything on top, like you have been doing, Devon, effectively that's open source. So you can create your own library, or you can add to a Siteglide community of open source library, or you can add to the sort of Loopple library, whatever you want. And just keep expanding from there, rather than having to buy hundreds and hundreds of separate theme forest templates, as an example. I hope that made sense.
It made a good amount of sense to me. I mean, it's very exciting. It seemed directionally, I'm psyched about it. A couple of quick questions. So number one, sure. If we just use the Lego block analogy for a second, like and let's say Creative Tim had 40 Lego blocks in their SoftUI. Did these Loopple people like take it and turn it into 100 blocks, or did they take the 40 blocks and make it into like a builder that is easier to build with?
That's a good question, and I'm still not clear on the difference between the two. The good news, it doesn't really matter, because as I say, you can kind of pick from either and they'll work the same way. But if we just quickly have a look at it, because this is something I wanted to show you anyway. So the real difference between, the real reason Loople is separate from Creative Tim is they have a builder, and I believe they've sort of licensed it to Creative Tim as well. But if we click here, so the SoftUI design library, you can click try.
Anyone who hasn't bought anything from Creative Tim, they have a bunch of templates on a bunch of frameworks, Tailwind, Bootstrap, whatever, Argon, whatever the things are. Only a small handful of those templates have a builder, like in Creative Tim. Most of it, you buy it, and it's just like all the files for all the blocks. Like you just download them, and then you're grabbing. What we've been doing is just grabbing like blocks of code, putting them into Siteglide, uploading all the assets for the template, and then just grabbing. Here's this call to action we like. We just grab that code snippet and we paste it into a Siteglide page, like on the code view of the Siteglide page. That's been our process. So this is more integrated, what Loop is doing, but they don't usually have a builder. So it seems like this Loopple thing, which you're done right now, does that. Yeah.
So I'm still undecided about which to recommend to you guys. To be honest, we've got more engagement from the Loopple team than we have from the Creative Tim team. They've partnered with us. They're happy for us to use it, but Loopple are a little bit more engaged, I would say. So yeah, this is their builder for kind of piecing together pages, but it isn't actually necessary in the sense that you can do exactly the same from here as we build more into the library, and you'd be able to put more in as well. So that's their sort of main selling point. But maybe I'm just confusing things. If you go directly to Creative Tim, you can buy their Pro package. It's about the same price. There's not a lot in it in terms of where you get it from, and you get the same library of components. So I guess to properly answer your question, Devon, ideally we would get all of the layouts that are available into Site Builder and Siteglide. So as in available in the studio sidebar, as well as in the Site Builder layout section. And obviously the dynamic ones are the most valuable to you guys because we're actually going to have the functionality built in. So that would be the aim. We have the agreement from both that we can do that. In terms of who you buy the license from, I think I'll try and clarify that for everybody soon, and make sure that if you buy one, it sort of works with the other. I think is what I would hopefully get a clarification on.
How easy is oh, I'm sorry.
No, you go.
I just was going to ask, how easy is it to customize the color and the themes and stuff? I mean, I remember in Studio there was like a preference you can go in and do your theme, and it'll update the whole look and feel.
That's a great question, and just before I answer that, I think it's worth me explaining how this fits in versus Flowbyte. And I think we have two different, not audiences, but if you're deciding between the two, I think Flowbyte is going to give you wireframe style sections, very well built, performance, really flexible and customizable, but you really probably need to be a developer to get the most out of it. You've got to learn Tailwind, you've got to learn compiling, all of that kind of stuff. And I think it's still probably our recommended route for top SEO results, although I'd love someone to prove us wrong on and show you what you can achieve on the Bootstrap side. I'm sure you can. It's just out of the box. I think maybe the Flowbyte route is slightly more there. So to answer your question, Michael, we can't easily give you like color control and global stylings of the Flowbyte side because it's all compiled through Tailwind. So on the Bootstrap side, because it's sort of more classes based, what we're going to do is bring back, let me sort of go back to here. We're going to bring back that old kind of variables feature we had, and we're going to build like a global variables UI for Bootstrap 5 for this particular theme, and any Bootstrap 5 theme essentially, where you'd be able to very easily update the globals, which would be color, font, that kind of stuff. And one of the reasons we're doing that is we see the Bootstrap route as, this isn't meant to be a negative, but probably more accessible to everybody. It's generally easier to get working with Bootstrap. Maybe people know it better as well. So what we want is one offering where people can just get started and not really have to touch much code. You'd be able to drag stuff in using Studio, you'd be able to build layouts using Site Builder, and you'd be able to use the variables manager to customize the look and feel.
Yeah, I just saw on the Loople there was the editing button, and I don't know if that controls the, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I haven't played around with this too much. I reckon it depends which layouts you use, but let's give it a quick try.
I mean, so it like compiles, I would think it would compile it, and then you would take this template and then import it into Siteglide, or how would that work? Or like what Devin was saying, he just grabs bits and pieces of the code after he's uploaded because that would work too.
So yeah, if you use this, then you would need to then copy out those elements. So you could probably edit code and just copy it straight in, two different tabs running. That might be a quickest and easiest way with static sections. Right. Obviously, once we build a variable editor, you wouldn't need to do it in here at all. So I think this is a nice to have, but I think eventually it won't be won't be necessary to use this. I think where this is really, really useful is if you're trying to quickly maybe show a client a mock-up or something like that. Maybe our tool won't give you those kind of functionality,
Well,
those kind of features.
Their branding colors. They would want to see their branding colors. That's all I'm,
Yeah, so I'd like to think you could then put in a different class of colors.
We don't have to get into it. It does look like there could be some control here, so maybe I just look at it and play around.
We've been just editing CSS files. Like once the theme's installed. So Luke is going to save you all this trouble because they're actually building this into the thing, into the admin. But like we have a Siteglide instance that is a trial that is the already installed SoftUI Pro instance. It's got all the pages, got all the layouts, got all the assets. So then we duplicate that if we want to use that template as the starting point for our site. Then we go in and we say, I'll change the purple to green, just in the CSS file, find a replace, and it works. But I understand.
Yeah, I'm a visual guy. I like to just
Mhm.
Look at it on the screen and see the color change, but that's fine. CSS works.
You basically have this template, it sounds like, Devon, that we've now put in the marketplace, and you would come in and we've only gone with the min file for the CSS, but yeah, you'd come in, you'd overwrite your brand colors potentially in here, but we're going to also save you having to do that because we'll build the variable UI where you'll just literally go in and control your variables.
And is Site Builder, so the Site Builder is a module that costs money, or is it a module that is a free module?
Site Builder itself is always free at the moment, at least. I think if there is anything paid in the future, it will be add-ons. It will be some kind of like really valuable integration or add-on. But for now, Site Builder is going to be free. It's the tool for using these design systems. So you install the theme that you want. You can install multiple themes from the marketplace, and then all of these layouts, these dynamic layouts, including forms, which are pretty clever, are available to use for free, and you can either install them or you can use it to build out a page instead of having to do it in Studio. So you'd come into here and go, I want a blog layout or whatever.
Then if you're installing a layout, it will be available in the Studio Picker. That's the idea, like in the step you were just in before.
So at the moment, dynamic layouts don't appear in the Studio layout because we haven't properly got support for dynamic content, which is what the Studio update on the roadmap is all about. So we're trying to tie it all together so that Studio becomes probably the only place you'd need to go to eventually.
Yeah.
You still need Site Builder for installing the functionality. So choosing what sort of Siteglide functionality you want, but then you'd use Studio to kind of piece it all together into pages. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, I think that's the gist of it. It's a bit complex at the moment, and we'll try and do a video to explain it. This is the landing page template that you can create from Marketplace right now. So you just go to Marketplace, you create a new site from templates, and this will give you SoftUI. This is the free version of SoftUI with a Site Builder form in place. So just using this as an example, if we go to Forms and edit this form, new form, and we add a new field, test, and we're going to make it what should we do? Drop down 1, 2, or 3, and then save. Then on here, how's that not showing? There you go. Yeah, the alignment isn't great there, but we've got that field showing. So it's all dynamic using Site Builder to control it. So this is, as I say, just a basic landing page, but very soon we'll try and do similar things to the Flowbyte offering so that you've got a whole marketing site. And obviously, actually, our main aim very soon is to completely replace the old demo site that we have using the old Bootstrap 5 layout, including e-commerce. So Flowbyte are releasing their e-commerce layouts before the holidays, they've said. So we plan to integrate those. So you have a Flowbyte offering, Tailwind, and we're actually copying across the old layouts from here. So product, detail view, cart, and checkout, and building those for SoftUI, because at the moment SoftUI doesn't have any e-commerce built in. So we will have an offering in both of our main design systems very, very soon for all the features of Siteglide. I don't know, Devon, if you've ever have you done any e-commerce with SoftUI? I would imagine not, because it doesn't have it.
Oh, nope. But
No.
we're not doing a ton of not like shopping cart e-commerce sites.
Yeah.
All our e-commerce is mostly form related, just purchases of the single page purchase kind of stuff.
Sure. But yeah, we just want to make sure that people don't, invest. It's kind of the right word. Invest in SoftUI and then find that it doesn't work for some projects. We want to try and make sure there's layouts for all of the Siteglide functionality and more, really. Especially when you get into things like, if we go back a bit, custom web apps and things, building out web app layouts for things like real estate listings like this. Essentially, that will end up being available in, if we go back there quickly, this list here. So under web app, you would end up seeing like lots of different types of web app layouts based on sort of real world functionality from Creative Tim or Loople.
Nice.
Yeah, I've covered quite a bit there. Hopefully it makes sense to you guys and anybody who's watching the recording. Any questions? Cool. I think the only other thing to mention for anybody that's not aware, I didn't actually mention it in the meeting earlier, but you might notice the Site Gurus logo in the admin in the top bar. We mentioned it on Discord last week, I believe. It's an integration directly with the Site Gurus portal. Only agencies will see it. Your customers would not see this as long as they've been invited to Siteglide by you. If they've signed up to Siteglide directly, then it would be visible, but that's because if somebody's signing up directly, then they're sort of coming to be a direct customer. So that would get you directly through into your Site Gurus account if you have one, and we're aligning more closely so that you can get additional help on whatever it is you need. So if you want some help implementing either SoftUI or Flowbyte, or you want to build out more layouts, or you want to build functionality, then that's something we can assist with. If you've not seen the new website and the new UI, might be worth checking that out and letting us know if you have any questions. But no other real updates. We've got a new brochure about it all, which I'll make sure is accessible. Yeah, I think that's everything from me. Over to you guys for any other questions, really. Open floor.
Yeah.
Can I ask a kind of dumb question, maybe?
Sure.
On an old site, if I was to install Site Builder, is it going to overwrite all of the custom code and all that kind of stuff?
No, basically the way Siteglide works inherently is it's template based. So as long as you keep, basically all your old pages will have your old template running. And if you install Site Builder, it doesn't do anything. If you build a template, in Site Builder, it's going to be a completely new separate template. So as long as you don't go and apply that template to one of your old pages, the two won't link at all.
Well, that's the point. So like if you install Site Builder and then you start designing and working with it, and then you apply it to a page, is it going to kill the other pages, or you have to, in other words, you have to choose between the custom versus Site Builder? Or
let me try and show that better, I guess. So if you create a page template in Site Builder, and you've got an old page in here on a completely different template, if you then apply the new Site Builder one, I mean, if it was Bootstrap, then it probably will work, but whether it looks exactly how you'd expect, it's totally down to your sort of custom styling.
Right. And then you could just
so
revert back to the old template if there was issue.
exactly, yeah. So it's definitely not going to break anything. It's just up to
'Cause
you
I
how
can
well
write-
they work together.
I'm good at that. Just have site groups. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm not kidding. All right.
But yeah,
And
good to
okay.
go. I mean, probably in those
Yeah.
kind of scenarios, best thing to do is do a site copy to staging, play around with it in staging, and see how
Yeah,
you get on.
yeah, because I really like the workflow of how this you're demoing it and things, and you know, like I said, I can go between the two of the visual as well as, you know, the coding, but I'm just like a visual guy. I like to kind of move things around, you know, that way,
Yeah,
because that's how my brain works.
yeah. I mean, play around with the new version. The best thing you can probably do is do a site copy from Marketplace with the new landing page template. Play around with this, and if you there's obviously not much in there at the moment. So if you want to kind of get a preview of what it's going to be like, then play around with the Loople one as well, which obviously gives you a lot more to play with. It was asked in the earlier meeting actually as well. Somebody said they mainly build application projects rather than websites. So I think you've used this as well actually, Devon. But SoftUI also has where am I going to find it? Has like a application version. If I just go here, I think it is.
Was
They've got the SoftUI dashboard features. So rather than it just being for websites, they've actually got a builder that helps you build out a dashboard as well. So this is a really quick way of demoing something to a customer should you want to show them how you could build out their kind of like portal concept. And you can just put all the different sections in that you want to. So let's just shove some cards in there and then tables or something. Yeah, pretty powerful way of mocking up a site for people quite quickly.
Very.
We have worked in Siteglide on how we can handle like left-hand menus like this to build portals, and we do have it kind of up and running for the Flowbyte portal template. But this is this builder is really nice for kind of showing that very, very quickly. So there'll probably be use cases where you'd want to just come here first and then you do the functionality in Siteglide later. Cool. I've said quite a bit, so I'll stop there, I think, but feel free to ask away if you have any questions.
Let me check this chat. Yeah, so I think Helen was just obviously saying to have that kind of UI to control the variables would be wonderful. So I think that's also it's a nice way that we're going on that side. Any other questions from yourself, Devon or Helen, even David?
I'll mention one more thing quickly, since we've got a few minutes. I had a really good long call with Platform OS today, actually, and we're obviously always looking at the roadmap and looking at what's next. And internally, we've been looking at how to improve search for like just certain things don't work quite as well as we'd like with search. They had been using Algolia as their kind of solution to improve search, but they've actually been focusing on, and I'll show you very quickly, an AI powered search, which is obviously a cool topic if it's something useful. AI can often be interesting, but is it actually useful and valuable? So I'll show you it very quickly. They've built something that just lets you search. So basically, they've got AI built in already to Platform OS, full sort of embeddings, and the ability to do like recommendations as well is what they're working on at the moment. But essentially, this can search for something. If you search for dog, a checks example was that it can actually find references to cat because of the relevance, even though you haven't typed those words in. So if we would type in here, domains, I haven't actually tried this. this is already a very rough demo at the moment, and that's using OpenAI to go and query all of the data and bring back results for it. So I think we're going to look at this kind of route for improved search, and we'll keep you posted on what's possible with OpenAI.
Yeah, SiteGurus is actually working with one of my client about improving that. They had mentioned Algolia or whatever it's called.
I'd completely forgotten actually, Michael, because I've spoken to them about that this last week or whenever it was, and Algolia is definitely a good solution, but if possible, I prefer to try and keep things within the infrastructure and the platform. So we're going to see whether we can.
Any way they go, but the OpenAI looks interesting too. So
yeah, we'll look into it a bit more and see whether that's a viable route. Yeah.
Luke, was Elasticsearch like a thing at one point, or no?
Yeah, I asked about that. I had a really good, I was grilling, asking a whole load of questions to Maciek, and Elasticsearch has been around for a long time. But Elasticsearch Views is something that was new or on the roadmap. And turns out that it has been out there for a little while, but they haven't finished the documentation on it, which Maciek tells me is going to be this week, or yeah, they hope to do it this week. So that would actually give us a lot of I don't fully understand what that would allow us to do, and it's not quite related to this, but it's good news that it is available, and it might be worth chatting to Matt or Josh on the SiteGurus team in terms of what functionality you need.
Yeah, just to give the most complex, can I share a quick example of something?
Yeah, sure, go for it.
So this is something we've achieved with, I would say, 2-year-old, maybe 3-year-old tech in Siteglide. Just gonna go to
Luke, I don't know if you need to give him access to share.
Oh, sorry, I'll check.
Yeah.
Who can share? All participants. You should be okay.
Okay.
Yeah. It's quick. So if you enter a keyword here, I'm just gonna type in like toddler. This is a parenting site, and you can filter by age, by topic, by concerns, things like that. So this is like a whole filter system. This is just searching web apps. So it's not searching pages. So like one thing, and the other thing is we have a web app of guides, which are like compilations around a topic, and then we have individual articles. And so we've got it so that guides are weighted heavier in the search results. So if I type in anger, the guide shows up first, and then all other articles about anger show up. So these are all like, there's the point of showing this is just that there is the ability to customize outputs of search. It took some work, but we could do it. The only thing I would just highlight that was valuable in this project was the ability to target specific web apps with search. So say like, don't look at pages, don't look at products, do look at these web app IDs, you know what I mean? Like, so maybe when you're thinking about search, just keep that in mind as like an important, thing to still have.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, we would try and have it so that you can choose whether it's search everything or choose what to search. Yeah,
that currently is in place, but I don't know if you go in a different direction, you just
there shouldn't be any changes to that. I wouldn't have thought. I want to add functionality, not take it away. Hopefully.
Yeah, that's your MO. It's all good.
Cool.
Cool.
Just thinking what that relates to. Well, we'll keep you posted on all those kind of things. What was something else that was a bit new and interesting that I thought would be worth asking? Gone. Anything else from anyone else? Okay. Well, yeah, always there on Discord if you guys want to ask any questions or need any help. But I'll keep you posted on. We'll do updates on the SoftUI stuff as we release more and more on that. So I think it'd be worth having a play around with.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Great, guys. Good to see you. Enjoy the rest of your day. And yeah, we'll chat to you.
Yep. Take care, guys.
Thanks, everyone. Speak soon.
Thanks, cheers, Helen. Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.
Cheers.